Hey everybody, what's up folks here? I wanted to do my question and answer from this week, and so basically this will mark the third one, so we'll be going into the third week of question and answers. I got to be honest, you guys give me some good questions. Sometimes I have to really think about it and, decide how I want to answer it. So I first want to talk on this whole idea of the Abyssal shop that was brought up. Should I get Gerber? Should I get York? Obviously most people still don't feel Torn is a worthwhile investment. He may see some love, which could suddenly catapult him to greatness, but as of yet, it's been a long time. He's just not worth it. So, the question is Gerber or York worth it? And really, the choice comes down to your personal choice. If you're a VIP zero or a low level VIP, you're going to struggle with tanks for the most part, unless you just get lucky in one of the Soulstone shops when you're doing your Soulstone wishes over here. And you're really at the mercy of the wishing pool. If you don't pull a tank out of here, you've got Chavez, which is good, but he's got to get ranked up there to really be great. Poulon, which really struggles without a good healing kit around him. Kaiser's good, of course he starts off at 2 stars, which isn't the best. Leon, still not the greatest. You can get Soul Stones now for him, though, out of the Alliance Magic Squares event. Laura's kind of coming into her own with some of the changes, but still isn't considered, early game tankage. So you really have, two real tanks out of this whole group that you're going to see. So if you don't get lucky, that leaves you then in the arena. Obviously, you're going to be struggling for points here. With the shop, purchasing Jacob. Gerber is not a bad investment. I don't want you to think that he's terrible. I just didn't need it, so I didn't pick him. But he can be a good tank for early to mid game. But by the end, late game, he's really going to struggle unless they just give some great power to him. So, just FYI, around 86, you're really going to see him drop off once everybody starts in that 5-star range. One of the other questions somebody asked was, why is Merlin so good? I've got Merlin awoken on my other account, but not on this one, but I'm going to pull Merlin up. Merlin is an interesting soul. Nowhere near as powerful as she used to be when they changed her months back, but still pretty strong. So, her ultimate basically gives a target this buff. It raises their ability power. Magic, lifesteal, everything like that. And so it tries to pick the person on its own with the highest ability power. So a lot of people would run this with a Jacob who gets lifesteal off of that, hit him with that. Might run it with the Vortex or some other magic-based team because her Elven Summons gives magical lifesteal to everybody while they're out on the field. So it helps keep your magical team alive. Her strike, she basically does magic damage. It's pretty good. The range isn't bad. And then finally, she also increases their AP power, the ability power for your whole team. So that's really great. When she gets awoken, she increases the lifesteal. But again, it's only for people with a hat. So when you look at that team, it is kind of limited, but it's still pretty good. The fact that you're just going to get extra lifesteal. So what makes her so strong was for a long time you could run a tankless team with her. Because she could, with certain builds, with certain teams, survive with the lifesteal, and they would do great amount of damage. It's not as common anymore just because of the current meta and the sheer amount of damage you'll see from people like Vortex and some of the others which have destroyed kind of that team for the most part. But it's still out there. I'll see it. She's a great addition, especially on a magic-based team. So that's why a lot of people really like her. I'll do a more in-depth Chavez overview. I like Chavez. He's one of the top 2-3 tanks in the game, especially not considering legendaries. But, a great thing. And then I've got this question. What about Vortex? Vortex, I want him. He's 3-star. There's been a lot of debate on this. Is he worth it? I'm going to say he does a lot of damage. He just doesn't have as much health and everything. People don't realize that when you're... I'm going to go here. Who do I have? I believe my mage. Looking for somebody. That's not it. Somebody's got some soul stones I need to spend. Somebody had 50. I don't remember where they went. That's going to chat my height. Give me 1 second. Let me pause it and look real quick. All right, I'm back. It was Watson. All right, so let's look at Watson's hit points. He's got 1,800 here, or 18,000, I mean. And then, you know, we're going to go here, and we're going to increase this to 5-star. Obviously, it's going to cost me. And so when we come back here, he's gone up, you know, 19.2. So he basically gained, you know, 1,200 health. What you kind of see here is this percentage that's increased when he has that. So let me see here if I can figure this out. My math is off because it's way too early in this morning. You know, it was about a 7% increase that he saw, and that was finishing from the 4-star to the 5th-star. So you know, when you start to look at some of your heroes, and it goes up, it scales more the higher level they get. When you start to think about that, you know, with 2 stars missing, you're missing at about a 15 to 13% amount of life. So let's say your guy has 100,000. I'm just picking that for easy number. You're missing 14,000 health. You know, we'll go to my vortex here. You know, he doesn't have obviously that much, but so 68, 60. Let's just say 69,000 for the fun of it. So 69,000 times 0.87 basically means he's only got 60,000 hit points if he's a 3-star, if he's not a 4-star or a 5-star. And so what happens is that doesn't seem like a lot, but I finished a lot of fights where he's got just a sliver of health, and that one hit, that one crit, or that one thing matters so much. And so Vortex will still do damage as a 3-star. Just know it's never going to be as great as a higher star, and obviously that number for me is inflated because he's gold star. So kind of go from there. Somebody says the Wings of Origin crit meta really that bad? I've heard it can one-shot teams in 10 seconds, and it can. What we're talking about here, for those of you that don't know that, I'll pick Smoke, is this Wings of Origin. It's the orange 2 item. What happens is at the beginning of the battle, when anyone with this comes in, they do this damage. It's usually done to the tanks. It's a small AE amount of damage, but I mean, it's not small damage, it's just a small AE kind of thing. But basically what happens is you'll build teams that all have this item, and so you're looking at Smoke, you're looking at West has it. Who else has it? Gotta think here off the top of my head. Max has it. The addition of Max coming in brought some more playtime with it. York has it. And you're going to notice all these guys kind of have these similar teams that they're with. And so they stack really well. So, you know, you've got your Lone Dog here. You've got your Lone Dog and your Kung Fu. You know, so you start looking at your Lone Dog teams. These are kind of the guys that are bringing the pain. And what they do is they basically all come in. They all use their item. They all demolish everybody at the beginning. And these huge teams are getting destroyed. Is that working as intended? I don't know. It's been a few weeks. No changes come in sight. You know, obviously it's going to be hard for them to just change it completely because people have spent tons of gems and tons of essence on those. But yes, these teams are destroying much higher teams in just a matter of moments. So what are you going to do about it? I don't know. So kind of go from there. Pandrus, a lot of questions on the whole, you know, new Pandrus. I haven't awoken Pandrus yet. It's on my to-do list, but it's way down here. I only have so much time, and just kind of getting somebody that's got a Pandrus that's awoken and high level is hard to find, so I'll go from there. I did a video for those that were wondering on the next prayer event. I kind of showed you how it worked, or I will do one. I showed you a video on the prayer, Dragon Prayer, how it worked. I really recommend watching it. Really talked about each individual dot, how they kind of matter, you know, how to build them up. I don't like the new auto pray that you can do, I'll just be honest. But so anyways, kind of going from there, and watch that video. It's really worth it. You know, And then the question that kind of came along with that was what third dots are the best. You know, if you look at, so let's check it out here. Mira, her third dot adds you 261 power, which is great. I mean, you're doing extra damage. I look at her fourth dot of an energy steal plus 20. Yeah, that's okay. I'm not too concerned about pumping her out right now. Or, you know, someone like Gears. Let's switch it to Gears. Who his is armor penetration. And, you know, really one of the things you have to ask is, you know, are you running both of them on your team? Are you running them individually? You know, if I look at the two stats between the two, we'll go down here. You know, obviously his armor penetration is pretty good up there. And then, you know, you look at Mira's, hers is much lower. So obviously he's going to do better against higher armor targets. But remember, he's a back row hitter in the sense of his kind of little AE volley stuff that he does. Where Mira is more of a, I'm going to just blast you to death with my whole, whoever's lowest. Now again, she does work again with Baggins if you use them. I don't, but there's a lot of options out there. So it really depends on your team. I prefer to try and build up my tanks first and my main damage person first. So when I looked at Dragon Prayer, you know, I wanted to get Vortex because Vortex is who it. I wanted to get Zoe because Zoe is it. And then my tank was really my next one in between those because he's got to survive. So, you know, I wanted him to have that extra health and the armor and everything else. That's kind of it. A few other things I want to talk about, just kind of questions and answers I've seen people asking. Event-wise, obviously, the Dragon Scale has changed. Now, when you buy 60 of the Dragon Scales, you get one Purple Soul component, which is kind of cool in the sense that you're guaranteed one. And then at that point, whoever wins gets to choose one of these, which is today's reward. The problem is of course every 30 is $5. So for $10, you're guaranteed a Purple Soul component. Does that make you happy? I don't know. But I've seen some servers where there's a whole lot more people buying because now they can just spend $10 and get them a Purple Soul component. On top of that, one of the other things I want to look at here is the flower event. You know, people are always saying, you know, is it worth saving? Is it worth saving? You know, what do I want to do? Here we are at the flower rank, currently in second. This has been a tough battle. Ascending rank, I've got first kind of locked down. Had we planned like I wanted, it wouldn't have came to me. It would have gone to somebody else where both Credo and I could have helped really push it. But we'll leave that alone. Again, your alliance can only get one of these, and they take whichever the top one is. So if we had 1, 2, and 3 locked up, not that we do or plan on it, we would only as an alliance get this top row. We will not get all of these different spots that we're sitting at. So some alliances thought they could do that, and so they were trying to get every single one of these. And then of course one team's focused on one person and they can't catch up. It's just the top one. So now the person who gets the top spot gets this item, the alliance gets this item. So here they don't, you know, they don't get the castle. So if you got any questions, again, go back to here, look at the results and kind of see, you know, how that works. If you got any other questions you want to do for the next little thing here for the questions and answers, feel free to post them. I hope you guys have a great one, and I will talk to you all later.